Brethren, I am standing before you with fear. And this fear comes that you gain a lot of information, and especially with the last one. And now here comes Walter, retired construction man who is going to talk to you about artistic faculties, not artists at all. But dear brethren, we all are seeking the kingdom. And many times we could ask ourselves, how can I fulfill the condition necessary to attain the kingdom? Brother Johnson wrote, and he gave us artistic faculties to aid us. And that we should trust that our dear Heavenly Father will enable us to make use of them for better equipment. We may ask what's human faculties or sentiments are. By the human sentiments, we mean those which are particular to us, our man. If we were not a race of mankind, we would not have these sentiments. They are those that concern our relationship to God, to ourselves, to our fellows, and to our environment as well. We may classify them into two groups, higher and lower. The higher, the religious, and the lower, the selfish, worldly, and artistic. And I have a privilege to talk about artistic sentiments or faculties. The worldly and artistic sentiments we may group as, and they are 10. The love for opposite sex, a love for family, for home, for the country, for fellowship, for order, for nature, for art, for knowledge, and love for occupation. We may also look at artistic faculties as the ability or tendency toward, and we got 7 of them. Imitativeness, it's copying, take pattern, abundant in actors and orators. Ideality, the love for beautiful, for perfect, for refinement, for ornamentation. Sublimity, the love of the grand, the infinite, the vast, abundant in architects, poets, and painters. Constructiveness, mechanical ingenuity, use of tools, ability to creating and making something. Music and melody, learning, remembering, composing, performing. And agreeableness and persuasiveness, pleasantness to please with others. And last not the least is mirthfulness, the humor, playfulness, fun. The capacity for this is present in all people, but people do not develop all of them. The sentiments are very useful when we serve God as He intended to. God did not intend us as a humans being for spiritual existence. He simply gave us those qualities which enable us as a human being to come into proper contact with Him, with ourselves, with other human beings, and our environment. And those artistic sentiments are lower and selfish. So they need to be controlled, regulated, calibrated by us, and they will be in proper control. The first mode of regulation to control of selfish, worldly, and artistic sentiments is to keep their control that by suppression. The suppressing to be done by higher primary graces. We talk about it. The Apostle Paul in Romans 6:19 and 1 Corinthians 7:29 to 31 is referring our selfish, worldly, artistic sentiments and advises us to control them and to keep selfishness and worldliness dead. As he stated, time is short. Because if they are not controlled, the love of acting and hiding, what disadvantages will cause hypocrisy. The love of beautiful and perfect will cause exaggeration. Lingering, dissatisfaction, refinement, vindictiveness, even hatred and envy. The love of acquiring and retaining will cause covetousness and miserliness. The love for food, gluttony, and love for drink, drunkenness. Accordingly, we see that their control must be kept dead, suppressed, or our consecration, our character will receive the great injury. And laying hold on love for acquiring and retaining and suppressing its control develops liberality and contentment. Laying hold on our love for natural food and drink and suppressing this control will develop temperance. And that are example of secondary graces. So they may be developed by suppressing the control of lower sentiments. The second mode of regulation is to use artistic sentiments as a servant of righteousness and holiness. To illustrate this, we can take text from Romans 6, 13-19, which says, "Yield yourself unto God, yield your members, sentiments, servants of righteousness unto holiness." And from Romans 6, 10-29, explain the principle in details and contrast with sin and selfishness. We are advised to use our sentiments when we are under condition of extremity as our self-safety valves for the prevention of sin and error. And I want to use the small illustration. Engine, and I mean the steam engines, become overcharged with steam when the explosion is imminent, to be prevented by opening the safety valve. If this is not done and the steam continues to increase, the pressure beyond the restrictive strength of the engine itself, an explosion will occur. And just so in our experience, we sometimes come to the situation that we are no longer able to control from direction things are progressing, and unless there is some self-safety valve used, if not, sin will occur. Of course, the best way of using safety valves is to change the situation from explosive danger to good, so will be the blessing for the others. And Brother Johnson gives us an example. I quote, "If I did not use mirthfulness, humor at all, I could not do my work. I must have some vent. The pressure of my burdens is so heavy that unless I had some way of relief, I would be crushed. I could not keep myself in proper disposition to do my work aright." End of the quote. And we know the situation of Apostle Paul in Athens, when he mentioned, "I see you very religious, but you got one statue of an unknown God, and I'm going to talk to you about the God." Brother, Athens is a very interesting place. One philosopher said that in Athens, there was easy to find gods that men, especially during the rainy day, because they have 20,000 statues and they were not moving and people were hiding, of course. These human sentiments are safety valves. They will prove a very good vent to let off the great pressure and prevent explosion. This method of diversion and good method of overcoming sin, error, and selfishness. Our sentiments support each other. So let us look at the cooperation of the selfish artistic feeling. In our artistic sentiments, we might be used not only for our benefits, but for family, for others, like a workplace, our profession, even as a healing agent. Our love for nature and art may contribute toward elevating the natural taste of the families. Our home and garden will be not only beautiful, but it will invite us to rest there and enjoy the sun. Working in the garden can be also very therapeutic. If we have a gift of humor, we make a splendid servant of holiness. Humor will in many ways contribute to family, love, and peace. Humor sometimes is the only thing that will save the day. Happened to me many times, not only at work, but also helped me to make new friends. Rather than music, both vocal and instrumental, will be the great tool for helping us to make our life better in many respects. We can enjoy music, relax, thanks to it. Also, music can be great therapy for traumas-affected people. We may use our songs, hymns, music to share the gospel and open heart to God. Brethren, our God does not desire us to use always artistic sentiments as a crutch. He wants us to learn and develop our character. This safety valve used to our human sentiments must be temporary. The goal is to develop our character and never needs the crutches. Summarizing, brethren, we may say that God gave us our artistic faculties to support us, to equip us, not only to have joy in our life, but use it to serve the others and to be able to appreciate how much our great God gave us. And may our Heavenly Father bless us in using the artistic faculties, that we may be better, more just, more thankful, and that God may gain even more honor and glory but what we are and have. And may the God add his blessings.